Here the girls and I are at Death Valley National Park, the entrance, just a ways down from the pads off the 3,000-foot pass. Now we're dropping down into the valley. So they're ready to go. This morning, it's brisk, cool. We're down here in the valley floor, just a little ways past Furnace Creek, and we're gonna roam around the desert here and look for things. We're in Furnace Creek, and we stayed up at Texas Creek campgrounds, which this time in January seems to be very busy. I'm surprised how busy it is. But we're going to go in search of adventure. When I see sights like this, I wonder how many of my viewers can use their imagination to see this transform into something that might have been 20 million years ago, when this was an inland, shallow, warm sea, full of life of all shapes and sizes and descriptions, frolicking in the ocean. Like something out of a sci-fi movie, only it was real. Okay, we turned off on this dirt road heading up into the mountains right outside of Stovepipe Wells, and it's going up to Mosaic Canyon, which is supposed to be a very fascinating place you can wander through. So we're gonna check this out. I take this little RV of mine places. I'd take my 4-banger Toyota 4Runner, and it does me just as well. A little noisy on the road, but the dogs don't seem to matter too much. But hopefully we get up here, we'll get out and walk around. Almost up here to the parking lot. We're in some gnarly looking twisted mountains here, so gonna have to get out and see what the damage was in the back, because I heard a lot of things falling out. Now we just gotta find a place to park up here. Well, besides being messy from this morning, not making my bed, and forgetting to put those darn hooks on I had installed myself, looks like a few things fell out of the cupboards. So I better clean house and put those darn snaps on for the ride back down before we go explore. There's a lot of water that flows out of these canyons at times. creating waterfalls and everything. So you really don't want to get caught up here when the weather changes. Just going up the canyon farther and farther. It just gets narrower as we go up the canyon. This rock is so smooth, so polished, it's slippery. You have to really be careful walking on it. This is some of the slippery rock you have to climb up to continue on the trail. So I see people with hiking poles, that's helpful, but a good pair of shoes, not cheap tennis shoes with no tread, would be most advantageous. Like I say, it's as slippery as it looks. And with some of this fine-grained gravel, it's even more slippery. When you stop and think, all these layers had to be laid down when they were flat. And then just the force of the earth pushed it up and transformed the rocks and everything. The power of nature is beyond anything man can comprehend. This is quite a canyon. I'm not sure how many miles up it goes, but I think I'm going to call it stop here. I know this is a place to come back to when I have a good camera I can use and enjoy. You just see the sides of the canyon. The rock is so smooth and finely polished by blowing sand and rushing water over millennia. It's really fascinating. I would definitely say bring something possibly better than normal tennis shoes. You need something with grip on this real slick, smooth rock that's covered in this fine dust. Just makes it a lot slipperier trying to climb up some of these embankments. The stone is so polished, it almost looks like petrified wood. And then you have a bunch of conglomerate that almost looks like someone purposely mixed cement and stuck in there. But it's all natural. It's all nature. Fantastic. Now, going back down, looking down the canyon that we came up. Leave the crowds behind me. They're going the other way. They were packed for a long day hike. I was just an exploratory scout. I'll know this is one place I'll want to come and spend half a day or so exploring later. Coming down, you can tell people are using this little natural shelf here to steady themselves as they come down because it's all grease from human hands and sweat. So downward we go, back to the parking lot. I almost expect some sand people or something like that to pop out of these caves. You never know. You never know. It's quite a canyon. Next time I'll be better prepared. I'll know what to expect. Well, got back to the RV. Dogs were just sleeping, weren't even in the front seat like I thought they'd be. They were in the back resting. Had the fan on to keep the hot air going out and the cool air coming in. So they were happy. Now they want to play, of course. So we just had lunch. I'm going to give them some fresh water, and then we're going to get ourselves out of here, down the road, and back into civilization. Huh, Sarah? Sarah's back there squinty-eyed, sleeping. Yeah, she's not impressed. Okay, well, let's get back down the hill. Okay, before we go back down this crazy road we came up, I just want to point out that I did put my hooks back in to prevent these doors from coming open. I do have a liner here of Velcro, so that helps hold it. But sometimes the roads I take, sometimes that doesn't seem to be enough. So I put these in, and they work great. So now when I go back down this crazy road, uh, we may toss and turn, bounce up and down, sideways, hitherto. At least these things will stay shut now. So onward ho! Well, we pulled off here at Immigrant, a nice little pull-off area for day use and stuff, and went in to use the park facilities here. And to say the least, it's just sickening how people act when they're out in nature. Apparently, the people that use this bathroom at one time had the intelligence and civilization below that of a Neanderthal, because they had to have been that or less of a human to leave the mess that's in that bathroom. It's just sad. This is a building built by the Conservation Corps, who did many of the old structures in all the national parks. And this is up at Immigrant in Death Valley on the highway. And here's the front of it, facing the highway. Well, hiking out here in these dunes, everything is 10 times farther than you think, because for every step forward you take, you slide back one long one. So give yourself ample time to hike to where you're headed out here, and ample time to get back. And make sure your pockets are secure, because you don't want to lose anything out here. No way. What could this be? Prehistoric, petrified footsteps of ancient man? Who knows? Who can tell? Let your imagination wander just for a minute. Could this be a dinosaur hide? Could there be a dinosaur attached to this, buried in the dunes after millennia, finally being unearthed by the wind? Imagine, just imagine,